What's up everyone? Ray Diaz here again from Pro String London. We're about to string up a Wilson Burn 1816 stringing pattern. We'll be using our best seller, which is Pro String Nemesis. What's up, Mikey? It's our best seller, our best co-polyester best seller. This one's 125 millimeters. We make this string ourselves in the factory in Germany. Yeah, very good string. In fact, most of our Babila RPM clients, RPM blast clients, we probably have a 99% ratio. I'd say maybe yeah, a good 99%. Okay, maybe 95. Let's say between 95 and 99% of the people that use RPM blast are very happy to change to our Pro String Nemesis, as it offers more feel without compromising durability. A little bit softer in the arm as well, I find, personally, but definitely a very good string. Joe, what's going on, Joe? Hope you're well, man. So I've got two cameras going on here. I've got one YouTube, another one for Instagram Live. So yeah, we're going to be stringing this racket at 55 pounds. It's a 1816 stringing pattern. It has 8 holes at the bottom, as you can see, possibly, as to the 6. So that means we have to start at the bottom. When you have 8, you always start at the bottom, and when you have 6 in the throat of the racket, you start from the top. Like I said, we're going to be stringing at 55 pounds, which is the equivalent to 25 kilos. So this racket's a little bit different to your norm. It has more mains than crosses. It's starting to become slightly more common than it used to be. But yeah, definitely, I'd say going back maybe 5-10 years, there was very few or no rackets that had more main strings than crosses. It gives you a little bit more durability for the big breakers out there. Yeah, but it only has, let me just triple check, it only has 16 crosses. So it's still a racket that you consider, if you play with quite a bit of topspin, you'd break quite a bit of string on this. Quite a few strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 each side. We've got the one in the middle already, so we've got to count 8. Always leave a little bit extra, just to be safe. Make sure you don't leave yourself short. And even if you do, and you have the right tools for it, you can use the starting clamp. Starting clamp looks like that. For those that are watching the first time or don't know us, we are based in Hammersmith, which is where I am now, from my living room. We also string, we have pick-up and drop-off receptions in Victoria, Mayfair, Moorgate, which is right next to Moorgate Station, right near the, it's about 8 to 10 minute walk from Liverpool Street. What's going on, Joe? How are you, man? So Joe's just tuned in on Instagram Live, and he's actually been around my house for a stringing lesson. He's actually a very good hair barber. So I swapped him, actually. I didn't want any money to teach him how to string, funny enough. And I swapped him for a haircut, for a stringing lesson. And I think what you'll find, like Joe did, it looks so... Sorry, going off track. So we've done 3. We want to do 3 again on the other side. And 3, 3, 3, 3. Always in 3s to even out the frame, so there's no damage done to the racket, or there's no warping or anything similar to that. It's what you really don't want that. So I think Joe, he might vouch for this. It looks a lot easier than perhaps it is. when you don't know. Once you know how to string, then of course it's like everything. It's a lot easier. But I think a lot of people's first impression when they want to learn how to string, they're very eager, and then it can be quite off-putting for a lot of people when they do eventually have a stringing lesson, which I also do. I also teach people how to string. So this is the 5th main on one side. Oh, good, my brother. You taught me loads. Thank you. Very welcome, man. You gave me a great haircut. This is the fun thing, I guess, about Instagram Live. I've never really used it until recently, since we've all been locked in with this horrible pandemic of coronavirus. So now I've actually got some time, and I still have a few people dropping off rackets to me. Don't ask me why or how, but people are still dropping off rackets. Not many, but enough for me to make these videos, luckily enough, because if not, I probably would still make these videos, but with probably my own rackets and rackets that I have for sale and whatnot. Alessandro, ¿cómo está, Alessandro? Alessandro is one of my good friends. We play a lot of tennis. Very good family friends with Alessandro and the Impronta family. So we're on the last string, where we're going to put up the tension. I like to put it up 5 pounds, 5.5 pounds. And away we go. And now the knot can be, so this racket actually has shared holes. Never, 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 for you people out there that are wanting to string or already string, or, yeah, so never, never, never tie off any kind of knot, whether it's a starting knot or a finishing knot. Never tie it off in the shared holes. This racket has 2 shared holes at the bottom. Shared hole means it shares the hole with a main string, vertical string, and a cross string, which is horizontal. So these are the sharing ones. You can see that one and this one, but we don't want to tie off there. We're going to tie off down here. It's quite far away. Normally you don't leave so much space. I'm not sure how well you guys can see. You see how long that goes? You don't want to, I mean, personally I don't like that, but on this racket we don't really have much of a choice to do what I would class as a more of a professional job. I get a lot of rackets that come in, not right now obviously, like I said, everything's a bit slower with the coronavirus, but yeah, I get a lot of rackets that come in and people tie off on the shared hole, which that means there's 3 strings going through the same hole, and you really don't want that. These rackets belong to a client who I believe normally drops off in Moorgate, but seeing that everybody's got that little bit of extra time these days, he dropped them off in Hammersmith. So we have drop-off receptions, like I said, Mayfair, Victoria, and again, don't string it into the shared holes, because they're going to be horizontal strings coming out of these 2. So we're going to tie it down here. So what is everybody up to these days? What are people doing to keep busy? It's tough, right? Tough staying at home all day. All right, that's so I did put up the tension for the last one on this side as well. 16, so we've got 18 mains, 16 crosses, so I'm going to measure up 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On a traditional 16, 19, 16, 18, I normally cut 7.5, but I know that I'm gonna have, even with 16, I'm still gonna have loads of string left over, but I just like to be on the safe side. Alright, so we're gonna do a Parnell knot. This is my preferred knot. Not just aesthetically, but it holds the tension really well, and I've been using it for as long as I've been stringing, I believe. So that'd be a good 20, started stringing when I was 12, so almost 22 years now I've been stringing rackets. The Parnell knot, that's right, Joe. Remember I taught you that? Well, I tried teaching you it. I don't know if you remember it. What else we got here? Osman, what's up? And again, so when you're doing the cross strings, in case you're wanting to learn, I'm gonna always try to give the best advice and tips I can. You want to pull the string down. Always pull that string down. And I always string one ahead. So as you're going to see, I'm about to put through another string. Pull down, 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 or just down all the way pretty much. Why? Because what happens is you're creating friction. If you just pull the string, you risk burning the string, and that's what happens. That's why strings normally break. The friction of one of the other, and the cross string and the main string rubbing together creates a friction. And if you pull really hard, if you pull quickly, you'll cut the string. It might not break, but what you do is you slightly cut into the main string. And again, it's not professional. So if you're taking your racket somewhere and it's coming back with slight cuts, let's say every few centimeters, you know that they're not pulling down, they're just pulling like this, pulling. Bad idea. Pull the string down, pull that cross string down. So I started Pro String, it'll be 2 years in June. And within less than 2 years, we've become top of Google, first or second, depending where you're Googling from. But and whoever's paying, even the ones that are paying for Google ads, Google Words even, we still come above most of those. We have a very high 5-star percentage ratio of 5-star Google reviews. So yeah, we've never really paid for Google advertising, and we're at the top of Google. Very grateful for it, and everybody that chooses Pro String. But as you can see, we try our best, and we do always the most professional job we absolutely can. We don't ever double pull strings. You'll find a lot of times that you take your racket somewhere and you might tell them one tension, let's say 55, like the tension I'm using now, 55 pounds or 25 kilos, and it'll come back and you think, well, that's a little bit soft. That's because they're pulling 2 strings at a time like this. So instead of pulling 1 like I am, they'll be pulling 2. So they'll be pulling straight up, they'll be putting like that. And of course the racket will not. This doesn't hold the tension the same way. So no cutting corners here at Pro String. We value our customers, and we always do the best we can. And it doesn't matter how many rackets we have. I've had up to 30 rackets sat there before, and I will pull every single string. Anyone that works for Pro String pulls every single string as well. So I hope, and well, I try to keep a close eye if I can. But yeah, quality's our main focus. I'd rather not rush the job and get it done properly as to rushing it and not doing a very good job. So we're pretty much halfway through the crosses now. This racket this Wilson burn creates lots of power because it has a very open pattern. You can see the holes. I mean, the holes not necessarily on the width of the racket aren't very wide, but if you look at the length of the holes, that create some serious power and spin as well. The normal, well, I say normal, there's quite a few different versions, I believe, of the Wilson burn now. There's the 1619, which probably give you even more power and more spin because the holes are even more open because there's less main strings, and well, it's probably quite similar in a way. It's all, a lot of it's marketing. They don't know. I personally, this is a personal opinion, I think a lot of the times they run out of ideas and trying different things, and so a lot of marketing goes into rackets, colors. A lot of the same rackets gets produced year in, year out. Babolat Pure Drive, for example, the Pure Strike as well now. More recently, it's the same racket. Sometimes they'll put the sweet spot up a little bit higher, a little bit lower. But yeah, they're very similar. The best sellers will always keep coming out in different colors. Sometimes they play with the weight. They'll add 3 or 4 grams extra, but not generally. They'll keep the weight the same because their best sellers are the best sellers for a reason, I guess, right? Yo, Ruben, what is up, bro? What is up? I don't think you've ever seen me string, have you, Ruben? I string your rackets, don't I? Ruben's a very good friend of mine. Hey, you gave me this t-shirt, man. Hey. Woo! Ruben, how you doing, man? You guys keeping safe? You and your wife. Hope you guys are well, man. I bet we're all dying to get on the tennis court, man. Especially with what you do. So we're coming up to the shared holes that I was telling you guys about. This racket has 2 shared holes at the bottom. The last 2 holes, which is the 15 and the 16. Alright, we're coming up to the last string. Pull that tension up. 5 pounds, 5.5 pounds. I don't know if you guys can see from there, but I always like to keep it nice and neat over here. A lot of times when you get your racket back from other companies, not all of course, there's a lot of overlapping on the outside, which looks quite ugly. The impact when you hit the ball probably doesn't change very much, if anything, if none at all. But it just, I guess I'm a little bit fussy when it comes to aesthetics. One of the reasons I use the Parnell knot. So I'll try to slow down the knot this time so you guys can see how the Parnell knot. Sorry, I said the last one was the last string before, but now it's the last string, and I put the tension up. So I've got quite a bit of string left over. Rather be safe than sorry. This is an awl, as you guys can see. If you ever need it to do any kind of getting under strings or opening up holes, for example, one way of doing it. Just be very careful. So the Parnell knot. Let me see if you guys can see a little bit better from this angle. So you're going to do a simple single knot. In, out. Yeah, looks pretty simple, right? Then, not sure if you guys can see, there's a small loop there. We're going to go down, and back in through the first hole on my left hand side, which is this slightly bigger side of the two holes on each side of the racket, each side of the string. So I like to use the starting clamp, so you can also use pliers. Alright, that one's done. I am going to string up another racket. Oh, almost escaped me. Alright, that's that one done. Music to my ears. So the strings have come out pretty straight, I would say, which is a good thing. It's always good to straighten up the strings after you string, but if they're not very straight, it can cause to lose tension. So at Pro String, we've started recently, last few months, putting in what date, stringer, tension, and what kind of string we used. So today is the 30th, I believe, right? 2020, stringer, Ray, string was Nemesis, Pro String Nemesis, the tension was 55 lbs. This goes right on the neck of the racket, on the inside part of the neck of the racket, right in there. So that way the client knows what string they've had, what tension, what date, and who strung it. Alright, that's that one. I am going to stop Instagram Live for a second, guys, and I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm going to choose what racket we're going to do next. But I think it's going to be another one of my good clients. Oh, this one needs the grommet changing as well. Cool. I'll be back in 5, guys. Thanks for watching, whoever's tuned in.